Welcome to She Sells Radio. We are talking today, my friend, about one of the most powerful decision-making strategies that I've ever learned. And honestly, as I say strategy, I don't even like calling it a strategy. It's more of a framework. I think I'm moving more and more in my life to not loving the word strategy and more loving framework, inspiration, guidance. But this is how I have chosen to make decisions in my life when I am feeling stretched, when I'm feeling uncomfortable, when I'm feeling called to do something greater than the old me has done and it feels scary, or it feels like, will I make my money back on this? Or is this safe for me to do? There's so much conditioning, at least in my own upbringing, about make the safe choice, do the safe thing. And I find that to me, I've had to consciously learn it's not that I'm reckless and like jumping off a bridge without a harness, but I've had to learn to navigate that conditioning because safe means small in every element of life that I can think about. When I am feeling like I want to retract and like I want to play it quote unquote safe, it is about staying small and it's about not taking that expansive forward action. And so this framework that you can use, and it's really just a simple question. It's about making decisions as your future self. And so saying, for the woman who has the result that I'm desiring to create, in this particular instance, what decision did she make? And it's a small thing, but I find that it will always guide you to the right decision to make. And it's not going to feel like the safe one. It'll feel stretchy. It'll feel expansive. You will probably feel some amount of like, like it feels right, even if it doesn't feel really comfortable. But I used this even this morning in my life. There were several big things that I'm working on right now where there were certain like investments that needed to be made and contracts that needed to be signed. And there was a part of me that was like, I could wait on these. There was a part of me that would have been much more comfortable signing them had a certain amount of money already come in that I know is coming, but it hasn't happened. It hadn't happened as of this morning. And so I'd been waiting on some of these things. And when I got really, I kind of got this download about this last night. It's like to any extent in my life that I'm waiting on something to come in, on the circumstances to be perfect, on the timing to be perfect, I am prolonging my good and I'm giving my power away and saying, well, this will be the result in my life if everything lines up. And I really got to this place with these certain things where it was like, no, this is happening. And I don't care what I need to do right now to show myself, to show my subconscious, to show the universe that I am committed to these things happening in my life. And even if it doesn't feel like everything's lined up so perfectly, where it's just easy, because usually the big decisions that we make that really stretch us and take us to the next level, they're not easy. They feel hard. There's going to be a big part of you that says, no, this isn't safe, or says this is like, no, people won't understand you. So I get that. And we also have to learn to really make our own rules and learn to frame up decisions from the standpoint of, what would the version of me who has my goal accomplished do in this situation? And as I looked at these things that I had been waiting on, like the perfect amount of money to come in for, or the perfect situations to line up for, it was, she would just sign the things and get it done. And even if it feels like a somewhat uncomfortable amount of money to flow out right now, I know how money works. I know it will come back in a greater amount. I know that these are investments towards my future. and she would just get it done and get on with the show, because the support usually comes in afterwards. The money comes in afterwards. The team comes in afterwards. It's after you've made the decision that the things line up to help you. So I share that today because whatever it is that you're grappling with or feeling called to do that also feels unnatural, or maybe you're not even sure, right? As we grow, we start to navigate these uncharted territories. And for most of the clients I work with, and also in my own life, when we reach a certain level of like really being willing to venture into the unknown and to step into our expansion, we're doing things that we haven't necessarily seen modeled by our parents or by the other women in our community, which is part of why community is so important for all of us, and surrounding ourselves with people who have been there and have done that. But it can still feel like a little bit of uncharted territory. And so there can be a like, what do I do in this situation? And I've really learned to just look at it like that. What would the version of me who has this goal accomplished do? And usually there's a lot of clarity that comes from that. So you can use that against whatever decision it is that you're making right now. And then our job from there is to trust the process. And it felt, when I signed off on those invoices this morning, it felt a little bit like, ooh, okay, there's a part of me that's definitely more comfortable with that money sitting in my bank account. And that's the part of me that wants to make money God. And I know that that's not the part of me that powerfully leads the vision. The part of me that powerfully leads the vision leverages the resources she has, knows that you always have enough to get started, knows that it usually takes some sort of a declaration of, no, this is happening, to put things in place, and knows to continuously question her level of thinking of how much she's available to receive in terms of support, how quickly things can come in her life, and is constantly up leveling that too. So it's going to feel uncomfortable, but you're also going to feel this, like this deep knowing of, this is my next move. And yes, this is aligned. And is there a part of me that's maybe a little bit scared of it? Yeah. And is that okay? Yes, because that's what happens when we're not feeling a little bit scared, a little bit like, ooh, this feels uncomfortable. We're not growing. So use that question. What would the version of me who already has my mission accomplished, what would she do? Notice what clarity shows up. And you can use that as your guidepost. So I hope that serves you. I want to also invite you, if you really are ready for that next level of yes in your life, that next level of expansion, that next level of abundance, my 50K Club Mastermind at the time of this recording is open for enrollment. And we've got women in there who, for the women who are already in, it's very much that they are making decisions as the version of them who already has their 50K plus month, who already has the life they want, even though it's not their physical 3D reality today. They are, dog barking. We're gonna roll with it here. They are making decisions for their future selves, and as their future selves, consciously choosing what feels stretchy, but what feels right for them. And so this program is really for women where it's like, maybe you were living a life that at one point you thought was going to be your end all be all. You thought you were going to hit six figures and it was going to be, everything's amazing and it's easy. And then you got there and you realized, not only is there so much more financially for you to step into, and you're really ready for that next level of financial abundance in your life, but also a lot of aspects of your life may feel smaller than who you know you are at your core, whether it's how your lifestyle is, whether it's the way you're leading in the world, whether it's the type of clients you're working with, the rates you're charging. And so this program is all about helping you step into that next level, most expansive version of you and doing it in a really supported, beautiful way where we're traveling together. You're being mentored by me. I'm giving you access to some of the most incredible mentors and entrepreneurs in the world through the program. You're going to become a best-selling author along the way too. So just really, really an exceptional mastermind and group of women. And so if you want to check that out, ElyseArcher.com/50K club. We are accepting applications now. And I'd love to speak to you if it is speaking to you as well. So take this with you. Time to make decisions as your future self. Apply it. See how much easier decision-making gets. See how much more clarity you get when you do. And I'm super grateful for you. So thank you so much for being a listener to She Sells Radio, and I'll see you on our next